Okay, we should be back with the quarterfinals. Now let's have a look if this has been sorted. So these were our 16 players who made the cut. Some, of course, pre-qualified from previous events, and we had five players joining them from the Swiss rounds this morning, because one of the 12 couldn't make it, so there was an extra spot. And we have the results. So some of the agendas are still to be updated. So 9 players we say goodbye to. Anton playing Lenny, aloof and apart, lost to Yuechi Wu. Then we have Steven Patain with his Martell Battle of the Trident, played this morning to make the cut, losing to Alex, who we don't have an agenda, but I think he's playing Greyjoy Fealty. Super Duck losing to Radek with Tyrell Whitebook. Then we had that interesting Targaryen Mammer's Farce deck played by Feuerbart, losing to Zini. Lee losing to Bird, playing Stark. And then we had Templar. Templar is playing tomorrow morning in the 8 regions, so hopefully you can bring you that game. Or is it? Yes, it's tomorrow morning. Losing to kantzsot, and you saw my game against Gerald. I played Lenny Brotherhood, not entered here yet. And we have Lee losing to Karis in another game. So these are our 8 quarterfinalists, and as you can see, strong presence from China again with a few players. We also have Germany, France, Norway. We have Poland and I believe Greece as well in the quarterfinals. And this is how it looks. So I'm sure this one hasn't been played yet. Seems like a mistake. Magnus playing Yuechi Wu. Then we have kantzsot against the world champion Alex. We have Bird Xie against Karis Lee. And we have Radek against Gerald in the top quarter of the draw. Lots of Stark, as you can see, 3 in the top 4, so they will be they have a good chance of making the final. And what game shall we choose? Just a second. Yeah, have another person recording, so I will let them know which game we are picking here of the 8, and this one that has already started seems like a good choice with kantzsot Bukerma, as you can see, against Alex. Just a second. Yeah, and as I said, if you would like to join me, I have created a voice channel on Discord in the friendly open server, so you can join that and you will be heard on the stream. Now we have Martell Knights of the Hollow Hill, opening with Summer Harvest, taking a slight risk, or actually no, opening with Behest, so you know whether you can play Summer Harvest or not, against Brand the Builder, which has been a common opening for Greyjoy in recent times, because they do have a way now to put locations into play that they draw with the plot. And let's see, we have some unusual cards here marshaled by Martell. Okay, Milario of Nor was not that unusual, but we have the Princess Pass. That's one you don't see every day. And yeah, it can target characters with a single icon, or maybe there is some icon control as well here to get the icons discarded. Would be nice against something like Victarion, for instance. And also Gaston Grey, yet another card that works nicely against some of the Greyjoy tools, but not all of them, because of course Victorian can just nil it. And Iron Throne on the other side, naming Ricasso, as you can see. And now Greyjoy going for a strong start here with a Lannister superb draw engine, and we have a couple of Orkmont Rivers that are currently not turned on. They don't have stealth, but still some useful chuds. And yeah, the key of course will be to protect against the resets that Knights of the Hollow Hill like, because they have a agenda that gives them these modifiers. So once the board goes through a couple of resets, they usually come out on top. But we've seen that agenda used in a completely different way as well recently, with the Martell used plots mechanic. Now we do not, so getting rid of Gaston immediately. That's a nice hit here for Alex. But the restricted list, of course, did target this a little bit, so Greyjoy cannot, Martell cannot include all of their tools anymore. And we have Milario as the lone survivor here. Which is not necessarily that bad, of course. I wouldn't expect Greyjoy to be playing March to the Wall in this deck. Tainted, so that there is some icon control that works with that Princess Pass. And Bran the Builder managing to trigger twice. It is limit twice, so both triggers, and it got Silence, of course the 4-cost version, and it got Great Kraken, which can be then put into play for free with that Silence. Nice start for Greyjoy, and especially important to have a dupe for Alanis, because she is of course a major source of draw. She will be drawing a card for Silence, and then another one when Silence, for instance, puts in Great Kraken, if that is indeed the sequence, and it makes it very difficult to reset Greyjoy successfully then, because they don't run out of cards like they did in the past, often with this type of deck. Okay, so we have the Mother. Now with this kind of board, it's possible to just play conservatively here and not feed Martell any cards for this plot. And we have We Take Westeros, which is another common plot played recently. Just need the 2-coster to play the Iron Gate, get more draw. Or you could do something bigger if the stars align. Now lower printed cost, that means it will take something a little bit bigger to grab that Gaston Grey. But it could be coming here, let's see. That's as good as anything, so the Iron Gate trick can work. Alanis already grabbing a bunch of cards, and the stats on this are superb. Wins initiative, has good gold, good reserve, and seeing a lot more play recently with the playable Raiders index. It went away after the redesigns for a little bit, but it's definitely back in a lot of Greyjoy decks. And here we go. A 4-cost Raider, so he could be grabbing that Gaston Grey. If that's what he wants to do, maybe he will just ignore it and do the Iron Gate trick. Who knows? Should be plenty of draw anyway, especially with Great Kraken also coming into play. And there we have some more icon control. And Desert Raider, who can absorb military claim, but of course don't want to do that too often with the prize given away now. And again, 2 gold left. Wasn't really used last round, so maybe there is nothing, we'll see. And this time the Iron Throne goes for Duran, so Alex figuring that maybe Ricasso is not the main point of this deck, and maybe expecting the 7-cost Duran with all the icon control. Yeah, difficult to take all the icons here, so he's taken the Intrigue one. That lets him protect his hand if he really wants to, and seems like he does. But he does concede the power challenge, and now I think the Great Kraken will possibly come into play, because it triggers off the unopposed, draws another card, and I think now the Kraken will gain power, because it's possible to get more draw with the Iron Gate this round. And still that other option to grab Gaston from the discard pile. Now that's the second Tainted gone. And still has stealth to get another unopposed against the standing Desert Trader. Now that means the 4-cost character now knelt, so won't be getting that Gaston Grey, but he can still grab an Iron Gate. And up to 8 power with unopposed and prized. Grabbing more cards, putting the economy straight back. Yeah, that's what they do now. They have great draw, so Knights of the Hollow Hill can't diminish the hand. They have economy and gain power reasonably quickly. And now let's see, so finally getting rid of that Iron Throne, but something cost 1 will come into play, and there we go. So more draw for Alanis, more economy. Maybe it was naming the correct card.
Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hi. I sneaked myself into your stream.
Excellent. Okay, so let me just increase your volume a little bit so that our viewers can hear you.
Right.
Okay. Should be okay now. So we are watching Alex playing Buchermacher. So Greyjoy against Martell.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Bookie right now. I wonder whether he can pull back from this. Alex is looking strong. Not of large bombs, but quite some board presence, right?
Yeah, so political disaster coming a little bit too late, or I should probably say there is no time to play this because the power is getting out of control, so it will be getting rid of some economy here. And we take Westeros is gone, but it does nothing to stop the board. And yeah, we'll need a reset and not to concede too much power to have any chance here. And Alex is playing with a bunch of small characters that don't really care about this Princess Pass. It's not like he's gaining a lot of power on the big Greyjoy bombs that we usually see. Okay, and finally Duran. So he was naming the correct card here, Alex, with the Iron Throne. And Duran does enter play. And he has a chance to do some board control at least. So maybe if there isn't a Fanatic in hand, Nymeria and Duran could now slow the Greyjoy deck down a little bit.
Yes, if you can control mostly the power challenges with the three, that might buy him some time. And I wonder what kind of reset he plays and when he will play it. Oh, yeah, but speaking of power, there comes Victorian. He could steal one icon and then just remove him from the challenge, either with the Princess Pass or Goran. So Big Vic isn't as strong against some Martell decks as he is against others.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's getting that dupe, so he can't even be removed with a trick like this or the Gaston Grey that we saw earlier. And of course, he can protect himself against those cards because he can kneel them preemptively. Now, Political Disaster did get rid of some warships, so there is only 2 triggers for Victorion. That helps a little bit.
It's only 2 triggers. Everybody's Greyjoy heart bleeds now.
Yeah, usually you have 2 stands and then you can kneel all the locations basically. This time if he wants to kneel the location he has 2 stands available. And yeah, gaining renown of course also now more difficult. But still a good position definitely for Greyjoy with all those cards in hand and the dupes on the key characters. And
He
happy.
actually managed to get all of the icons except the military icons off of Alex's characters. So well done, I'd say.
Yeah, happy to bring the prized character back in, just to make sure that he can't lose any other challenges. And now if this happens every round, of course he can get the result back. It was 8-0 before this challenger's phase, and it's looking like it could be much closer.
Yes, I've played a little Martell icon steal myself already some time back, but I never feared the Greyjoy bombs as much as other decks do, and because it's easier to control them and all the stand is not as relevant if you can actually control the icons. But the thing is, as soon as they really get rolling, they might, just go to the 15 before you actually have board control.
Yeah, I played in the last weekend event. I played Barasan, or was it? Yeah, it was a Barasan deck that played all the attachments that take icons away, and I faced Greyjoy, put them on, and it was looking good for a moment there, but then my opponent marshaled the big army, the Iron Fleet, and then suddenly, when it looked like I controlled the board completely, got something like 6 or 7 power on Corpse Lake in one round, or in a couple of rounds, and I lost anyway. Because of course that army cannot take attachments and then has the 3 triggers if you can do challenges. Yeah, still getting to 10, so not completely stopping the power gain here. And we do not so discards the Princess Pass. And from that Political Disaster, still we have immediately 5 locations back in play.
Okay, and I saw that there was a cancel on Thorin trigger. I wondered why he didn't use the remove from challenge on Victorian, but he did cancelled. Was useful. All right, and the first reset. Mad King's command. I think it's a really, really great plot. It's a really great design, and it's, I think, a really, really nice addition to the meta. So you have to be more careful in certain regards. I was, for example, playing with an insane amount of attachments also, the kind of a Voltron deck today, and there you also get a shit, which we didn't have before so much as a plot choice. So I really like it, and it's good that it was designed really well done. Oh my god, Pike.
Well, let's see how the timing works here. So at the end of the phase, so that card will be drawn back before the Mad King's command resolves. Yeah, playing that against Late Summer Feast, so he will be able to draw some more cards as well. Assuming this, of course, is not the last round. Now, ironically, some of the intention behind this Mad King's command design also was to counter a deck like this Martell Knights of the Hollow Hill that draws a lot of cards with secret schemes and has something like 12 cards in hand and does all the resets, so you could bring the hand down. And now, as you can see, we have Martell Knights of the Hollow Hill playing the reset themselves here, although it is, of course, a different type of deck, as you can see. And this is one way, so Greyjoy getting a very healthy hand, lots of locations, lots of characters, and now all of that reduced to just 3. So Victarion, Asha and Alanis presumably will stay.
Whether he has a Donner's Spy in hand, has 4 gold left, and no Claim Soak. So if he does not have anything to ambush with, and I don't know what else it would be as a Donner's Spy, I think it's not looking really good for Boki. But if he does have a Donner's Spy, then he could survive this round, I think.
There is also Death Trader in the dead pile, so that can absorb Claim in theory.
Right, it enters before Claim is applied, right?
Yes, it does, but power already on 11 here, so that gives another prize away if that happens.
Yeah, and Victorians is now basically slightly less effective Iron Throw.
Yeah, both icons lost and nothing to do. There are no locations to be knelt, and he cannot. He could give himself renown, but that does nothing.
Change, I think, easily next round. I mean, with Pike, he just needs to marshal a refurbished Hulk, for example, or Iron Gate, and he can again get rid of these attachments.
Yes.
I think attachment removal is, I think, one of his strongest abilities at Pike. I mean, yeah, that's the best thing you can do against the bombs is negative attachments, and Pike can protect them quite well.
Definitely an annoying interaction. That is, in the game I lost in the World Championship in the top 8, I tried to somehow keep Alanis from drawing a bunch of cards, put a milk on her, and then I was surprised to see that here we go, Pike gets rid of the milk immediately, and she just draws another card from that Night Flyer or whatever it was coming into play, and it was impossible to control her in any way. And some ambush or quasi-ambush here for Greyjoy as well, bringing in Maiden's Bane, so if there is nothing to stop Asha here, it's game over, it seems.
can remove quite a lot of icons now.
Okay, so both icons gone from Asha. And 13 power.
So that's, yeah, he goes for safety, killing Milario. Top hit, going to 14. Into dangers, I guess.
And now do we have the two icons also on Alanis here. And she can do a challenge.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he had 7 cards in hand, so kept this that can of course enter play with the ambush from Pike, so able to win this challenge as well. Not quite game winning just yet, and I think that's it for the icons now.
Yeah, but she might win in Dom now with this Victorian Iron Throne.
Yeah, definitely.
Ooh. Nice, but still won't be enough of you.
Yeah, he needs to win a power challenge somehow. Saved anyway. So that was yet another card. Maybe it was drawn with the Iron Gate just now. We'll never know. Yeah, so definitely tough one here for Martell. Tried his best here with Summer Harvest opening. Then the Mother, which wasn't going to draw a lot. Political Disaster did very little against the Greyjoy locations. And Mad King's Command, they were able to survive very well with their 3 big characters as well. So that's Alex in the top 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think especially because even if you pack Political Disaster and Mad King's Command, and still he has quite some locations out. I mean, he had 5 locations out again this round, so it's basically Pike is a way around Mad King's Command. So yeah, I don't like Pike. Let's say it out loud, but we have to deal with it. Maybe we should pack our decks full of Seized by the Guards.
Yeah, in the World Championship, I think Alex played 1 copy, and a lot of the other Greyjoy decks that were successful did not play Pike, but those that did certainly made very good use of it. And it is strong and very difficult to play against. And okay, so there's 1 game still being played. We're watching Radek against Gerald now. The last game in the top 8 still remaining, and still half an hour left, and Star crossing close to victory, but as you can see, the Lanny Kraken starting to do its thing. All the locations out, 1 stolen here for extra economy, and the board is empty.
Yeah, it's always difficult to tell with this Lanny Kraken whether they're in a bad spot as it looks now on first glance, or whether they actually are running according to plan, just letting the opponent get to 10 and then not chasing them down to almost nothing and turning the game.
Yeah, unfortunately here all the plot power here is gone. Basically the 2 Winter Festivals and Heads on Spikes already played, so can't do that to try to push on for the win. But yeah, not that many cards for Lanny Kraken. 6 still, 3 in hand, 3 in shadows. It is quite a few. So we'll see if Radek has answers for everything here. Dicey trying, but no. Yeah, we kind of saw that coming. And none of the important characters dead for Lannister. So I think the game is about to turn around in a really slow and painful way here for Gerald.
Yeah. I guess so as well. So Radek has all the patience, I think, to play this down. And probably with Star Crossing, he won't have any comeback. He doesn't have any econ, no cards, no board presence.
Yeah. Only a few of these, one or two in the World Championship, and Radek was one of the players to play it. He had some success. I was expecting this deck to be doing really well, but obviously with just a single entry, there wasn't much chance. But seems like he can definitely win games with this 55-minute time limit. He stopped Star Crossing just in time. We see a Clash of Kings coming in too late to win that big power challenge. And with half an hour left, plenty of time to turn it around. And Radek already, of course, winning one of the friendly open events this season with this deck. Wasting no time with that Night Flyer. Getting rid of the Northern Armory, and of course Bowels can just trigger to give himself more resources. Gold in this case. Yeah, hello Connor, nice to have you. Apologies if I missed something in the chat, I only have one screen here, so difficult to follow everything. I'm definitely happy with the way this event has gone. We had something like 25 players in the Swiss rounds, only a few of those that were already qualified playing, so all in all more than 30 players taking part today. A lot of entries from China as well. It seems to be growing all the time, the friendly open series. And there will be a season 7 as well, so we'll probably wait for the 8 Regions event to finish. That still has something like 5 weeks to go, and then after that we'll get a new one going.
Yeah, summer season.
Yeah, summer season, and also of course the Champions of Westeros coming up as well with the summer season, the final being played next week, and Gerald is not going to bother playing another round here because simply there is nothing he can do. Tyrion can just stick all the answers back into shadows for future rounds, so anything that would be drawn and played would just get killed or controlled in some way. And yeah, impressive win again for Radek, who makes the top 4, and we can show you how this has gone. So we have 2 players from China. We have Targ Battle of the Trident that's going to play against Radek's Targ Fealty. That seems incorrect, so we'll have to see about these agendas. They seem to be wrong. Yeah, it's difficult on the Jousting Pavilion because Radek actually played in the Swiss rounds with a different deck, and players are allowed to swap, but it's difficult to actually do that on the Jousting Pavilion to get the correct information. So we'll see what decks are actually being played. So Radek will play against Karis Lee in the top 4, and the other one is Alex, the world champion, playing against Yuechi Wu from China. And we'll be bringing you those games as soon as they start.